Hello everyone, I'm Carius, and my Nerf modding is on hold while I work on this thing. Well, I would call it new, but I've had it for about a year just sitting in a box, Prusa 3D printer, and that has taken over the workshop while I put it together. It's been on and off a couple hours a day for the past couple days. I don't need new mods to show off stuff because I've got a huge backlog of other stuff that I've made, including this. So this is a triple RevReaper. I built it right after Walcom built his. This is the same idea. It's 3 modded RevReapers, modded to have the draw extended, so it'll go farther back and you can get better speed out of the flywheels. It's really interesting that the shell is molded in such a way on the inside that it's got a second stop for all the internals to go farther, and it's like they literally nerfed it and made it stop shorter so that it wasn't as powerful. And it shoots way better with that simple mod. So I've just done the same thing Walcom did. Threaded rods all the way through. It's seen some use in a couple wars now, so it looks like I'm missing a nut or two, but it's still holding together. I put the threaded rods in the priming handles under the slot instead of inside of the slot, so I have a lot less friction than it looked like Walcom would have, because putting it through the slot of all 3 blasters, it just seemed like it would add a lot of extra friction with the threaded rod hitting the plastic. And when you've got 3 different blasters hooked up with magazines, you can kind of stagger everything and reload them unevenly. And then when you notice that you're only shooting 2 or 1 dart, you top off your empty mags and keep going, and you have darts ready to shoot. It makes it really good for HVZ. Not only is it crazy in close quarters, shooting 3 darts at a time, but being able to stagger reloads is really useful. See if I can get to the chronograph. Okay, I got it all loaded up with a ton of miscellaneous elite darts. 3 magazines. One other thing that I did to mod it, I shaved down the magazine retention nub so that you don't have to push this button to actually remove the magazines. Makes it way easier to reload this quickly, because especially since they're upside down, they're being held in place really well, and it still has the piece. It's just I shaved it down in the opposite direction, so the same way that it can be pushed into the magazine, well, now it can be pulled out with a little bit of force. And that makes reloading these 3 magazines much more feasible in the middle of a Nerf war. Let's try to chronograph this thing. It's pretty wide. If I go high enough that it'll make it through the chronograph, let's see if it'll pick up the middle dart. 65. It picked up something. So that's like standard elite performance. 61. 66. Yeah. That sounds about right. I can probably get it to go a little farther. 67. Yeah. I mean, that's all you really need, though. They are stock-ish RevReapers. They just have the draw extended. And in close range, this thing is a monster. That was just barely pulling it back into 32. Let's just give it a real good yank. Yeah, it seems to max out in the mid-60s. It's kind of a workout to actually use this in a war, but it's not that bad. Pew! Let's adjust to the target. Show you the kind of foam you can lay down with this. And when you open one of these up, it has surprisingly simple internals. Like, there's no extra locks. Like, you don't end up taking out a single piece if you mod one of these with for the simple like draw extension. There's no like magazine safety lock. There's no like trigger lock. I mean, there's no trigger, but there's no parts that stop this thing from working without a magazine or with the jam doors open, or it's just very simple. But you can see you get this wind up, and then at the very end of the stroke, it pushes the pushers all the way out, and then they come back at the very front. So it's a pretty cool design where you've got this wind up to get the flywheel spinning, and then at the very end of your pull, it launches all the darts into the flywheels. Somebody told me that these were for drinking out of, but I think they're just crazy. That last cup doesn't want to die. There we go. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's a kind of a short and simple one, and the idea is not super new or anything, but I wanted to actually show it off. It's a pretty cool blaster. I know right after I saw Walcom make it, I'm like, I have to have one of these, and it's been a lot of fun to run at wars, but I never got a video ad on it. So here it is. Hopefully by the time you next see me, I will have completed assembling my Prusa. So expect to see some 3D printed goodness coming out of this channel from this. I had my old 3D printer for a while, and I've printed quite a few things on it, but it's just decided that there's a certain point at the Z-axis where it just wants to stop printing, and I can't figure out why. And it's kind of a simpler printer anyway, and I'm just really tired of bed leveling, which is something the Prusa can do automatically. And bought it a while ago with my tax return and just haven't put it together. It's been sitting in the box for like at least a year, and finally going through the process of putting it together. And of course, if you want to use like something like this in a Nerf war, you're gonna want a mag backpack, which I'll make the end card link to that video. You burn through magazines so quickly with this thing that if you want to run it effectively, just have a magazine full of magazines on your back. That way you can have 20 18 rounders ready to go and just never stop throwing darts. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. And this has been Carius reminding you to have fun. I own hundreds of plastic cups just to shoot darts at. That's what they're for, right? No time for cats. Hey, Hammy. You're so pretty. She's my old girl. She's the sweetest. She's also the shyest, though. It's bright orange and new. Look over here and over here.